Hi everyone! It's been a bit since I've done a YouTube video, but I just wanted to kind of dive back into what the new year looks like for me and what I hope that you can take from this video. So I know I've talked about a variety of different things involving nervous system related and IC related. As you know, I mentioned that I was diagnosed with IC in my early 20s, and I'm 28 now, and it's been quite the journey. There's been a lot of ups and downs, hard times, and moments of just pure isolation. But in the year of 2025, I feel like I made a lot of progress. And I want to explain that the progress looks a bit different than what I thought it would look like. And I guess for some people, especially when you're going through it, it might feel like maybe in some ways to some people that it wouldn't be progress. But I am a believer of finding positive stuff in anything that you're going through, even if it's hard sometimes. And I don't take that away from anyone either, because your feelings are valid. And when you go through a chronic pain, especially as sensitive as I see, there's no one way to deal with it, because it's such a, like I mentioned in a lot of my videos, it's such a complex thing, and there's not a one size fits all. So please don't say that I'm telling you that this is what you have to do to get relief. This is just what has helped me so far and what I know will help me in the future. And I'm so excited for what the future holds. And although I have hard days with my condition, I'm so grateful that I've made it this year and I've made a lot of leeway. And excuse me, I was also sick last week, so I'm still recovering. But I think when I started Callie K Nutrition, I talked about her program in my other videos if you want to check that out. I was really scared to start a program because a lot of times when you go through these sort of things, you get dragged down a lot because you go to doctors that tell you there's nothing they can do for you, or you try all these different Western medicine type things and nothing's working. Or sometimes maybe it does work for some people, but it doesn't work forever. Like I said, it's a very complex thing, and not every person's journey is going to look the same. But for me, I had tried so many different things that in the end, nothing was really working. I'm sure there was times when I did do the medicine that maybe it helped a little bit, but I feel like it wasn't like a permanent feeling of this is helping me long term. So I was feeling pretty low last February, and I was at the point where I just didn't know what to do. So I joined the program, and you start with like these one-on-one calls with Beverly and Callie, which are in the Callie K Nutrition program. And they talk to you about like, what are you feeling? What is your like history with IC? What do you want to happen? Like, what's your goals? And what have you tried? And those questions are a really good thing to ask yourself, because we can get so caught up in feeling like there's nothing left to try. And sometimes, you need to kind of say these things and write them down or record it to kind of get an idea of what's working and what's not. So you give them all the information. They help you basically determine what your main cause could be, or few main causes. And we had determined that I most likely have a dysregulation in my nervous system. And it's pretty much like I've mentioned before, where your nervous system is trying to protect you because your body has been dysregulated this whole time, not being able to feel safe, not being able to calm yourself down, that your nervous system is trying to protect you, and that can cause chronic pain. It's your body's way of trying to protect you and say, hey, something's not right. So I never knew that. I never knew what that was. I knew like about meditation and how it's good to, get help if you have mental health issues. But I didn't realize that your body could create pain in order to protect you. I mean, it makes sense now because our brains are so fascinating, and it's not like I'm a doctor or a scientist, but it's just the fact that humans are a complex creature, but we're also have like so many cool things about our bodies that we don't even know. And I was really worried at first because I know how I am with meditating. I have ADHD, and it's very, very hard to concentrate. And sometimes it's hard to believe that it's my nervous system. But I think hearing that was probably one of the best things I've ever heard, because it gave me hope that there was still a chance for me to get relief. Now, I'm not going to say that all my symptoms are gone, because that's not true, but I am in a better place now than I was a year ago, and I don't regret joining the program. I also don't regret sharing my story with you, because I know that someday somebody's going to hear something that I say, and be inspired. And I hope that they will, in turn, share their story and share what they've learned. And I wanted to add again that I do have a podcast called Surviving and Thriving. I now have it on Apple Podcast, Amazon, and Spotify. So please like, follow, comment. Please add my YouTube channel. I also have a book if you want to check the link out that I have. My book is also called Surviving and Thriving. Just trying to spread awareness and that there is hope. Now, I've had some pretty low days, and days where I still feel like nothing's working, but it's not because I haven't made progress. It's because this condition isn't black and white, and your healing journey is not going to look like the other person's journey. So sometimes it's hard to not feel sorry for yourself and to not want to just lay in bed and never come out of your room, because it's a hard thing to deal with. It's not easy. It's a very sensitive area of your body. And when it's tense, it's even more sensitive and hard to deal with. And if you don't always have like that big support system, especially other women who have IC, it's really hard to open up and talk about it, and it's hard not to feel alone. But I am here to tell you that I had burning almost every day of my life before 2024, for example. I had burning every day. I didn't have a break. It was nonstop burning, up all night. It made my job miserable. I was already feeling anxious and depressed, and then adding that on did not help. And then in the beginning of 2025, I started to feel like my urgency and frequency was really bad with the burning. When I started the program and started doing this nervous system work and kind of diving in, I realized that I don't have the burning as much anymore. I do have the burning, but compared to 2024 into 2025, I would give it maybe a 9 or 10 pain at that time, and now it's like a 3 to a 5, if even that. And as far as my urgency and frequency, I would say it hasn't necessarily lessened, but I do think I'm able to enjoy life more. I go out and do things more. I'm not constantly in my house alone or having to cancel plans. I also feel like I don't focus as much on my symptoms like I used to. And I have noticed that my urgency and frequency has gone down a lot. And my vulvodynia is still a difficult thing that I deal with too, but I even feel like that is a lot better than it was. Now, I'm going to see an endo specialist to just rule out if my IC could be related to that, because sometimes endo can overlap with IC. So I strongly encourage you still to go to your doctors, still to try Western medicine, but please don't be discouraged if it doesn't work, because nervous system regulation can work for anybody. It's not like it only works for certain people. And please don't beat yourself up if you don't believe it at first. My brain has been still trying to wrap around the idea even in a year, and I'm not quite there yet, even myself. But I believe in it. I've seen it work for other people. I've seen even the littlest things in my own life that have helped. And like I said, I still doubt. I still struggle with self-compassion. I think that's like the biggest thing holding me back from fully getting more relief from my symptoms, but it's something to work on. You know, I have something to look forward to. I have hope. I don't feel as doubtful as I used to, and I think now I have more of a positive outlook than I did. Um, and I think that my mental health is still a big struggle for me, but I have a better hold on that as well because I'm able to get some counseling and some help with medicine. And I don't think medicine is always the answer, no, but I do think it can help calm your nervous system. Excuse me. It can help calm your nervous system a little bit more, to be able to calm it and not to be as dysregulated. So yes, I do have some supports that are helping me as well. But it's been a journey, not an easy one, and I'm sure that the future is going to be hard, and I'm sure there's still going to be days where I just want to give up and I don't feel like there's hope. There'll be weeks where like I'm sick, like I was last week, where I'm just like done. Oh my gosh, it was a rough sickness, I can tell you that. But you know, I'm still here. I'm still chugging along, and I'm figuring things out. And I have more of a support system now, and I feel good about what the future holds. And as we go into this new year, Happy New Year, by the way. And I hope you all had really good holidays. But I think this new year is going to be about continuing my nervous system work, checking out about the endo situation to make sure I don't have that, and kind of just keep my options open, you know, and continuing the program. But I highly recommend you check out all the things that I recommend in my videos, and I hope that you enjoy this one. Have a wonderful day.